Uh-oh. Wow, that's a lot of C4. Kano carefully inspected the inside of the attaché case. Achi had found a false bottom in the case. The space beneath it was indeed packed full of plastic explosives. Set within it looked like a detonator. Kano didn't know much about bomb disposal. He'd only been taught the very basics during his police academy training. Nonetheless, something drew his eye. A microphone. There was a parabolic microphone attached to the detonator. In all likelihood, the detonator had been set to go off in response to some sort of sound. Hey, detective, is that thing gonna explode or not? Achi's voice was shaky. It looks like it's sound activated, but it hasn't gone off just from having people talking nearby. Does that mean it must be set to explode in response to a specific... That means it must be set to explode in response to a specific sound trigger. A specific sound, huh? Achi took a moment to think. That's it! It must be Hitomi's ringtone. That's why Stanley had me power her cell phone off. So that means we're safe? That means we're safe then? Hitomi asked. It's not gonna explode anymore, right? Kano had to fight back any feelings of relief. They couldn't forget that this was Alphard they were dealing with. Assuming they were safe would be a dangerous mistake. Carefully lifting up the detonator, Kano spotted another cable connected to the bomb. As calmly as he could, he tried to remove the plastic explosives from the attaché case. Oh, it has a timer regardless. He quickly discovered that the thinly stretched sheet of plastic explosive was only an intermediate layer, concealing a second false bottom. A small timer had been set beneath it. There's not just a sound trigger. Kano's mouth had gone dry, his voice had come out as a whisper. The bomb had also been fitted with a countdown timer. Stanley had been right on the mark. The ringtone of Hitomi's cell phone would trigger the explosion. That way Alphard could eliminate both her and his stooge Palmer at the same time. And then an even falser false bottom, but just in case the sound trigger were discovered as a backup, the bomb had also been rigged to explode after a set time. Oh man. Kind of speed dialed his boss. Director Kuze! I can't believe it. Where's the bomb squad? 151, 150, not even 2 minutes left to go. Didn't look like the explosives ordnance unit would make it in time. He kind of scanned the area, weighing his options. He noted Achi standing right beside the bomb case. Achi! He called out, leave that thing and get out of here! But Achi didn't move. No way. He sat down, the attaché case cradled in his arms. Achi, what the hell are you doing? I'm not going anywhere until everyone's made it to safety. Detective, you need to get these people somewhere safe right away. Clear the area first, then I'll go. There's no way I can do that. Damn it, you don't want to... Don't you want to save these people too? Kind of bit his lower lip in frustration. Achi was right. If the bomb went off amidst a crowd like this, there was no telling how many casualties there'd be. He needed to do whatever he could as quickly as possible. Get back, everybody! Get back! Achi shouted on top of his lungs. There's a bomb! Everyone get out of here! Just run! Following his lead, Kano started directing nearby civilians to safety. Hitomi, Susumu, and the others added their voices to his. There's a bomb! Everybody run! Get away as fast as you can! Please, you all have to get out of here! The crowd wasn't listening to their warnings. On the contrary, some people hurried closer to see what the commotion was about. It was no use. They were out of time. Kano had to save Achi at least. He turned back to him and called out. Achi, that's enough! Leave the bomb, let's go! Achi! Hitomi shouted. Come on! But Achi only clutched the bomb more tightly. What are you doing? Kano screamed. Come with us, hurry! Still, Achi would not move. Susumu's face went pale. Wait, Achi, your leg! What about my leg? Earlier, when you kicked that steel pipe. What the heck? Finally, Kano understood. It wasn't that Achi didn't want to move. He couldn't move. So he decided to get all heroic and use himself as a human shield to minimize the impact of the explosion on everybody else. That idiot, Kano muttered. If his leg was busted, why didn't he say so? How'd he even make it this far? There couldn't be much time left. If Kano rushed to help him now, he might not make it to safety before the bomb went off. He had to make a decision. No. We don't have time for a plan. There's like 10 seconds left. Kano ran for Achi anyway. We can't abandon him. Are we gonna die? Yes. Doesn't matter. Achi was being an idiot. He wanted to sacrifice himself for the greater good, but Kano wasn't gonna let him do that. To have someone else be your shield, to have them give up their life for yours? Achi had no idea how hard that would be on the people he left behind, even if it did save their lives. Until he was capable of comprehending that Kano wasn't going to just let this kid die. He reached Achi in a matter of moments and grabbed him by the shoulder hard. "Let go of the case, now!" Achi reflexively hunched it lower. "What the hell are you doing, man? Why'd you come back here? Just come with me, we have to get out of here." "Look, you need to run, I can't move." "Oh, you've got to be kidding me." Kano squatted down and looked Achi right in the eye. "Okay, you can't move on your own, so I'm gonna help you move, and unless you want to kill me too, you better cooperate." "Damn it! Don't be a fool, man!" Strength ebbed from Achi's hands. Wasting no time, Kano pulled the case away and slipped an arm around Achi's side. Their legs got entangled as Kano dragged Achi to his feet. "Come on, run!" the detective shouted when they were upright at last. They needed to get as far away as possible in the few seconds they had left. Kano didn't know how big the explosion was going to be. Palmer had said it'd be enough to blow the whole area to smithereens, though, and there had been true terror in his voice when he said it. They just need to keep moving. Keep running as far as their legs would take them. "Achi!" Itomi shrieked. There was a blinding flash of light. Then everything went dark. The force of the blast robbed Kano of his senses. He couldn't tell what had happened to Achi. And in the end, Kano never even knew what cut his own life short. Yeah. Saw that coming. The bomb explodes. Finding so many bad endings here. Let's see. We're still at a keep out and a bad end with Teteno, so let's go back to Achi over here. Ugh. I like that each of the bad ends we're hitting is progressing the other person's story a little more. Okay, so we saw this part already. It's not the real Alphard, he's a fake. We can't abandon Achi now. Where could the bomb be hidden? Then his eyes happened to alight on the attaché case the decoy had discarded. Could it be? No sooner had suspicion been aroused than he heard Kano call out to him. "Achi, check the case, hurry!" He hurriedly opened up the attaché case and searched the interior. But the only things inside were pieces of medical equipment, tubes and syringes and the like. There was nothing that looked remotely like a bomb. Excuse me. Where else could the bomb possibly be hidden? Damn it! He had to find the explosive, and soon he took another hard look at the case. I'll smash it apart. You know what? I'm gonna do it. We're gonna die, but I'm gonna do it. I'll smash it apart! He actually lifted the case high overhead, intending to hurl it against the ground. But as he was about to throw... Aww. That's too bad. I wanted to get a bad ending of just activating the bomb on our own. Quickly, he lowered the case again. He was certain the noise had come from inside. Once more, he opened the case and looked inside, but still he saw nothing of note. He tossed the medical equipment aside and slowly tilted the case from side to side. Though it looked empty, there was a distinct sound of something metal sliding back and forth. Hold on, could it be? Achi tugged at the case's inner lining, quickly tearing it free. Uh-oh. When he looked behind it, his eyes went wide. A thin layer of something that resembled white clay had been fixed inside the cover of the case. Several wires connected it to a small electronic device. This was it. The bomb really was inside the attaché case. "Here it is!" he shouted to Kano. "I found it!" Kano hurried over, bringing his captive with him. "There, Mr. Palmer, take a look." He saw what was inside the attaché case. The fake Alphard went pale. "No, it can't be. Alphard, why?" His voice was hoarse with betrayal. Then abruptly he broke into stilted laughter. Trusting someone really does make you blind. Such a simple childish ruse, and it went right under my nose. The fake Alfred Palmer looked over at Kano. "We need to get out of here immediately," he said. "That right there is C4, a high-yield plastic explosive used by the military. And that's enough to blow this whole area to smithereens." Blow the whole area to smithereens? Achi pictured Shibuya reduced to a blasted ruin. Meanwhile, Kano frantically began searching inside the attaché case. "A microphone," Kano muttered. Hey, detective, is that thing gonna explode or not? Achi tried and failed to keep his voice from wavering. It looks like it's sound activated, but it hasn't gone off just from having people talk nearby. That must mean it's set to explode in response to a specific sound trigger. Specific sound, huh? Now Achi understood Stanley's instructions. That's it. It must be Hitomi's ringtone. That's why Stanley had me power her cell phone off. So that means we're safe then? Hitomi asked. It's not gonna explode anymore, right? Maybe, but I wouldn't bet our lives on it. Kano continued his examination of the case. He carefully loosened the bomb and the cables, pulling them away from the lid of the case. The sight made Achi's heart leap. Then Kano went stock still as if caught in a hungry predator's gaze. 1 second. Okay, we've still got a half hour. Until stupid ads. There's not just a sound trigger. The detective's voice was a raspy whisper. The bomb had also been fitted with a countdown timer. Achi could see the timer now had been planted underneath a plastic explosive. His blood ran cold. My blood run cold. My memories have just been sold. Dorsakuze, where's that bomb squad? While Kano made a desperate call to the police, Achi picked up the attaché case and peered inside. An angel is a centerfold. Angel is a centerfold. Digital timer steadily ticking down the seconds. I am out of tea. That's sad. Achi scanned the nearby area. There were too many people around the scramble. Hitomi was there. Susumu was there. Several more of his old pals, along with a bunch of innocent bystanders. The people are the lifeblood, Achi reminded himself. The blood that coursed through the body that was the city. Like cells, they brought the life to the cities he so loved, and Achi wanted to be one of the red, or was it white, blood cells of Shibuya. Achi! Kano called out, leave that thing and get out of here! No way! Achi sat down, cradling the case in his arms. Achi, what the hell are you doing? I'm not going anywhere until everyone's made to safety. Detective, you need to get these people someplace safe right away. Clear the area first, then I'll go. But there's no way I can do that! Damn it, don't you want to save these people? Achi snapped, Kano bit his lower lip. Hitomi wrapped her arms around Achi from behind. Achi, don't do this. Hitomi, you need to get out of here too. Why? Why are you acting so crazy? Tears blurred her words and he could feel her trembling against him. It doesn't matter, just get as far away as you can. No, I'm not leaving you. After the day they'd spent together, Achi knew full well that telling Hitomi something once wasn't enough to get her to listen. His stubbornness was one of the many things that made her so amazing in his eyes. Hitomi. Achi clasped one of her hands tightly. Please, this is the one favor I will ever ask you. His voice came out oddly soft and gentle. Alright, she told him, but let me just say one thing first. There's still so many things I want to talk to you about, so much more that I want to know about you. So please, Achi, don't die on me. Hey, don't worry. Once everyone's made it to safety, I'll clear out of here right away. Hitomi squeezed his hand, then got up and silently hurried away. Susumu! You and SOS, start getting people out of the area! Yeah, alright. Susumu turned away and spurred the gang into motion. Then for an instant, Achi's eyes met Kano's. Achi gave a tiny nod and looked down at the timer. A minute 19, a minute 18. Get back! Achi shouted at the top of his lungs. Everybody get back! There's a bomb! He held the attaché case tight against himself as he continued shouting. He ran his voice raw, trying to warn the crowd away. Everyone get out of here! Just run! Following his lead, Kano started directing nearby civilians to safety. There's a bomb! The detective shouted. Everybody run! Get away as fast as you can! Susumu waved his arms emphatically. Please, Hitomi added, you all have to get out of here. But the crowd didn't heed their warnings. At last, apparently deciding that the time was up, Kano turned back to Achi. Achi, that's enough! Leave the bomb and let's go! You could hear Susumu and Hitomi shouting as well. There's no time left, man! Achi, come on! 57, 56. The way Palmer had talked about this bomb, it sounded like a pretty dangerous one. It might be powerful enough to blow up the entire intersection. There's still so many people nearby. There's no chance they'd be able to get safety in the few dozen seconds that remained. Achi needed to minimize the force of the blast as much as possible. He cradled the bomb more tightly to his chest, huddling over it. "What are you doing? Come with us, hurry!" screamed Kano. "I don't know how powerful this bomb is, but please, God, let my body be enough to protect the people of Shibuya and to protect Hitomi." Achi squeezed his eyes tightly shut. "I'm sorry, Suzune. It looks like I won't be able to keep visiting you in the hospital anymore. You'll forgive me though, right? I stuck it through to the end just like you told me to. I didn't call it quits partway through. And so whatever you do, you can't let that disease beat you. Don't you dare let it beat you." Achi drew a deep breath as he finished his solitary little prayer. He couldn't have more than a few seconds left to go. A firm hand grabbed hold of Achi's shoulder. "Let go of the case, now!" It was Kano. "What the hell are you doing, man? Why'd you come back here? Just come with me, we have to get out of here." Kano's grip didn't let up in the slightest. "Look, you need to run," Achi shouted. "I can't move." He clenched his jaw in frustration. It was all too crazy for him to think straight. He shouldn't even be having this argument when the bomb could explode at any moment. "Oh, you've got to be kidding me!" Kano growled in frustration. "Okay, you can't move on your own. So I'm gonna help you move, and unless you want to kill me too, you better cooperate." He didn't have much time left. "Damn it, don't be a fool, man!" Achi couldn't help but curse. A sharp pain shot through his limp right leg as he lurched to his feet. Kano shouted in his ear, "Come on, run!" Achi didn't have the luxury of thinking anymore, he just had to move his feet. Hitomi cried out from across the scramble, "Achi!" As the explosion tore through him, he was glad that her voice was the last thing in his world he'd ever hear. And that was Achi's final thought. "I'm sorry we keep killing Achi. I'm not doing it on purpose." The bomb explodes. Ugh. Okay, it can't be, but can I, if I make the decision to have a plan first, is that going to change anything? Couldn't rush in without a plan. Detective needed both a cool mind and a fiery spirit. The more heated the situation was, the more he needed to stay cool. He could feel the muscles in his leg begin to stiffen, and he did his best to slow his racing heartbeat as his mind sought desperately for a way out of the situation. But his eyes remained fixed on Achi, holding the bomb in his arms. Knowing that it could explode at any moment made it almost impossible to think. The harder he tried to calm himself, the more his panic grew. He cursed himself for not leaping into action immediately. He should have acted before thinking. That was the only thing he was good at. He still stood frozen, staring at Achi. Then he felt the hairs rise up in the back of his neck. White smoke was pouring from an approaching minivan. Come on! The vehicle teetered to a stop along the shoulder of the road. Still the smoke spilled out, roiling from a partly open window. Kano could feel a strange chill in the air. Is that? Instinctively, he rushed toward it. Yes! 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 It's the dry ice maker! Peering through the minivan's windows, he saw a clunky box-shaped device in the back. It was rumbling fiercely, spitting out an unending amount of white clumps. The true heroes! A dry ice machine! Hey! Kano yelled, banging hard on the door. Open up! By freezing a bomb that used an electronic activation trigger, it was possible to kill the battery cell and deactivate the detonator. The explosive ordnance unit used liquid nitrogen, but maybe dry ice would work as well. Liquid nitrogen, nitrogen that has been cooled to a liquid state with a temperature below negative 195.8 Celsius. It could be poured onto explosives to stop the function excuse me, of components such as battery cell for the detonator. I just swallowed down the wrong pipe in my excitement. Okay. However, in situations where the surrounding area can be safely secured, it is preferable to destroy the explosives via detonation rather than simply arrest its function. Dry ice, carbon dioxide in a solid state. Don't do that, Toby. Because it evaporates at negative 79 degrees Celsius at standard atmospheric pressure, it must be kept refrigerated or it rapidly dissipates into mist. thus its use in smoke and fog machines. The odds of dry ice being able to stop the detonator of a bomb are quite low. Battery cells do lose electromotive force in sub-zero environment, but there's no guarantee this would actually work. No, we need to try it anyway. There were 3 men inside the vehicle. Kano shouted at the one in the driver's seat, "I need to borrow that machine!" The man replied in a lethargic drawl, "No way, man, we haven't even paid this thing off yet." There's no time to explain or negotiate. Kano was just gonna have to take it by force. Hold it right there! Another man appeared suddenly in front of the vehicle. The pushy fellow Kano had run into at the scene of the explosion. It's Minorikawa! He was doing this. "You guys are with that Wandering Angels theater troupe, yeah?" he said to the van's occupants. "Yay, episode 6, the finale!" The minivan carrying Tozuka, Bando, and Amo veered wildly through the streets of Shibuya, leaving a trail of white smoke in its wake. The trio, now definitely impaired by oxygen deprivation, came close to causing several accidents. Teetering on the brink of consciousness, they were still trying to reach Endo Electronics when they ran into Kano and his companions instead. After Kano takes the machine off their hands, the three will happily head back to the theater, clean up, crack open some beers, and look back over one long, crazy day. Finn. Yay, we got the conclusion to the Wandering Angel story! He pointed at the dry ice machine. "That thing's defective! The guy from electronics store said he'd refund your deposit!" "Huh? For real?" "Yeah, he told me to tell you that the machine has been recalled. We'll bring it back for you, so hurry up and open the door." Yeah, okay." The newcomers helped the 3 men unload the dry ice machine from the minivan and then turned to Kano. The bomb should have gone off already. We had like a minute 50 left. "Here! Hurry up and take it," he shouted. "Right, thanks." Kano wasn't sure what was going on, but he took the machine and ran, pushing it ahead of him across the pavement. "Achi!" Hitomi wailed, tears in his eyes. The detective blew right past her, trailing a Achi, Hitomi. "Achi!" Hitomi wailed, tears in her eyes. The detective blew right past her, trailing a billowing plume of white smoke in his wake. "Please let me make it in time. Please let me make it in time! Please let me make it in time!" Kano let loose a wild yell. He ran as fast as his leg would take him toward Achi and the bomb. Can I... No, we can't jump to Achi right now. There we go. To be continued! Oh no. No, you're gonna give me a 1900... No. Don't do this. Don't do it to be continued at me. Don't do this. Don't do this at me. Cradle the bomb more tightly. To be continued implies there's like another hour, but we're ending at the 2000, right? Don't do this. This is the game that never ends. How many finale streams? No, we're ending it today no matter what. I don't care. I don't care what time we finish this. This is exactly like Danganronpa was, where it, like, the finale, like, the final chapter of the game was, like, 5 times longer than the previous one. I'm sorry, Suzune, it looks like I won't be able to visit you in the hospital anymore. You'll forgive me, though, right? I stuck it through to the end, just like you told me to. I didn't call it quits partly. Yeah, shut up, we don't care. Don't let her beat you. I don't care. I'm gonna stream until we're done. I might take, if it like takes past 8 p.m, then I'm gonna take a break for dinner, but we're finishing this game. I should probably take a break and get a snack from work then. Yes. Hachi! It was Hitomi. He was glad that her voice was the last thing in this world he'd ever hear. Remember I thought I was done with Idolmaster in December, and then the streams continued all the way until late May? Or so he thought. Hachi! Oh man, we're playing the Shibuya Scramble music again. There we go. Bring the bomb over here! Huh? That wasn't Hitomi's voice. Hachi opened his eyes and saw Kano racing toward him, pushing some big, weird piece of machinery. The detective flipped open the machine's cover to reveal a huge mound of dry ice. Stick it in here! Flash freezing the timer out to stop it! Hachi did as he was told, shoving the attaché case into the dry ice. Kano helped him pile more dry ice on top of it. You all should be burning your hands. Never, ever, ever. This is very much a Spike June stuff game. Never touch dry ice with your bare hands because it will burn you, because it is negative 79 degrees Celsius. It will actually burn you. Let's hope that's enough, Kano exclaimed. He looked like a man desperate for a miracle. Also, if you ever get dry ice, put it in like a thing of water. It bubbles very cool in a very cool manner. It looked like they could see the timer display through a gap in the frozen hydrogen, still counting down. Was this not going to work? Hachi and Kano held their breaths. It can't play the music and then kill us anyway. Oh god. To be continued. Where do we go? What? No, not that, not there. Stanley? Do we jump to... Is this our Stanley jump? What about Stanley then? That's not... I'm pressing many wrong buttons. No, wrong Stanley. Where's our Stanley? There it is. There's our Stanley. Oh god. Cell phone ring. It was Stanley. There we go. Okay. So yeah, it wouldn't let us there until we fixed all this, I guess. Please don't let me be too late, he muttered to himself. Yeah, we saw that Ashi was quick to pick up. Mr. Stanley? What's going on? How'd negotiations go? The detective called Alphard, Achi replied happily. He got him to give up the password, and I think he's called the folks at the lab. Does that mean the case is closed then? No, not yet. Right now I need you to do exactly as I tell you. There was a pause before Achi responded. Why? What's going on? If you want to save Hitomi, then shut up and listen. Stanley snapped. Alright, tell me what to do. First, you need to power down Hitomi's cell phone. Turn off her phone? What for? I'm pretty sure that there's a bomb somewhere near your location. Stanley tried to keep his voice as calm and steady as possible. A bomb? Achi's voice squeaked into falsetto. The guy that Kano just apprehended is a decoy. The real Alphard is planning to eliminate Hitomi and the false Alphard at the same time. Stanley didn't have time to explain that Kanan was Alphard. Besides, it would only confuse the matter all the more at this point. Listen, first turn off that cell phone, then go and look for the bomb. Okay, got it. Achi hung up. Hopefully the team at the Scramble would be able to pull through. Now Stanley needed to focus on capturing Alphard. He tightened his grip on the steering wheel. His emotions were coming on far too strongly for him to keep them in check. In the back of his mind, Stanley thought about the last he'd ever seen of Frank. There had been nothing left of his brother but a bloodied hand reaching out from beneath the rubble. Even since that day, since the very moment Jack Stanley had sworn vengeance upon Alphard, he would never forget the rage he'd felt at having what was left of his family taken from him. Hey Jack, once this is all tied up, I'm gonna need a drink. Let's you and me have a beer together. Sure, you got it. Stanley sprang into action, leading away the throng of panicking civilians. All the while, he couldn't help but worry about Frank. Got almost 30 minutes left. He'll be fine. Backup will definitely be here in time. He did his utmost to reassure himself, but still the doubts gnawed. Is that a meal? The bomb squad descended upon the area clad in their protective gear. Stanley shot a look at his watch. Explosive Ordnance Disposal EOD suits, also commonly called bomb suits or blast suits, worn during bomb disposal operations to protect the wearer from the shock of a blast or from any hurled fragments an explosion may produce. Such a suit is, however, wholly inadequate to protect the wearer from a large, powerful explosive, such as several hundred grams of C4 detonated at close range. He felt a surge of relief. Only about 15 minutes had passed. There was still plenty of time for them to deactivate the bomb with their liquid nitrogen. Thank God. Frank's gonna be alright. But he got no chance to relish that thought. Oh my God. There was an ear-splitting boom as a powerful shockwave shook the area. Stanley whirled back around, staring in horror at the place that his brother had been. Nothing remained but a mound of rubble. A later investigation revealed that the timer on the bomb's exterior had been a mere ruse. The explosive had never linked to a timer at all. Instead, it had been detonated via remote control. Wow. When electrical detonators capable of triggering an explosion with electrical current were invented, they quickly rendered old-style fuses obsolete. In the modern day, many terrorists use small electronics such as cellular phones and keyless entry remotes for cars as explosive triggers. Alphard had deceived them, using a visible timer to lull them into a false sense of security. Stanley had managed to save many lives that day, to be sure, but it had come at the cost of his own brother's life. Had he really made the best decision he could have made? He was still asking himself the same question over and over even now. But no matter how much he blamed himself, it wouldn't bring Frank back. If there was one thing he could still do for his brother, it was getting revenge on Alphard with his own hands. Stanley had been in constant pursuit of Alphard ever since. He would stoop to any level of for information without remorse. His opponent was someone who would do anything at all to achieve a goal. It only made sense for him to do the same. At some point, he'd stopped even hesitating to get his own hands dirty. He would charge headlong into any danger if he sensed Alphard's presence. Even his own life was a price he was willing to pay in the name of vengeance. He could never hope to latch his jaws onto his quarry's throat if he behaved like prey himself. He must be the greater predator. He would cast aside his humanity. He would become a blood-stained beast if that improved his chances at the hunt. For the hunt was all that mattered. Pursuit of Alphard had become his only purpose. So it had been for the past 2 years now. Now those years flashed through Stanley's mind in the blink of an eye. As he came back into the moment, he marveled at his own ferocity and at the depths of the wound he'd suffered. If I don't sink to her level, make her pay with her life is a little extreme. If I don't sink to her level, I'll never be able to beat her. But what would Frank think? We're starting to rethink our way of doing stuff. If I do get my revenge, what would Frank think? When Stanley pictured his younger brother, it wasn't with a smile on his face. The realization gave him pause. In the end, killing Alphard wouldn't bring his brother back. That went without saying. But although he could see now that revenge was an absurd goal, his heart still churned deep and dark with resentment. The Okoshi Pharmaceutical Lab finally came into view. A large billow of black smoke was rising from one of the building's windows. Stanley felt a chill in the pit of his stomach. He hopped out of the car and then gasped. Tateno. No! No! The detective was sprawled face down on the ground outside the laboratory gate, his gun still in his hand. Blood had pooled around his head. He'd been shot at close range. Death would have been instantaneous. All too late, Stanley felt the full weight of his mistake. Tateno had got up against an opponent who was out of his league and had gotten himself killed. Stanley had put him up to it. He should never have let Tateno try to handle the situation on his own. He should have done whatever it took to stop the detective. There must have been some way he could have averted this disaster. Saving Maria is your top priority, isn't it? That's right. There had been no hesitation to Tateno's words. Stanley had known how badly the man wanted to save Maria. That's why he deferred to the detective's judgment. Now he was faced with the results of his own naivete. The smoke pouring from the building showed no signs of diminishing. In all likelihood, the lab had been destroyed with a bomb. Alphard's plan to run its course before Stanley had even got there. He couldn't forgive himself for having been so thoroughly outwitted. Nor would he ever forgive Alphard for what the terrorist had done. Anger erupted inside him, raging like hellfire, driving him on to action. Death would be too kind a fate for Alphard. Now more than ever before, the thirst for vengeance consumed him. You're back just in time to see us all die. Even as he began to stalk toward the laboratory, a bullet caught Stanley in the abdomen. For a moment, he couldn't process what had happened. There was an intense searing pain that spread through his gut. Warm liquid began to soak through his shirt. Then a figure emerged from within the smoke. I've been waiting for you to show up, Jack. Another bullet tore through Stanley's body. Time seemed to slow for him. He watched the spray of blood scattering like a crimson mist. Alphard! Stanley hissed the word through clenched teeth. Out of pure stubborn spite, he managed to stay on his feet. Tottering toward his foe, he raised his gun. didn't stop pulling the trigger until the very moment his world went dark. No, defiant to the last. Okay, so it seems like the mistake we made was the warning. Find some way to stall until I get there. Yeah, the problem was that we made Teteno take on Alphard alone. Find some way to stall until I get there. If she realizes we're onto her, you're done for. Teteno hung up without saying anything. There you go. Okay. So let's see where we are over here. Okay, good. So Tenno said, what? Oh my god, my game just crashed. Teteno said, grrr. Wow, okay, let's try that again. Stream's still up though, that's good. We didn't crash XSplit this time. Wow. Alright. Sure. Maybe that was the wrong thing to say. I can't believe Kanan killed us. Oh, we get to see these. Look at these.